I'm Joy.
And I'm Tease.
We're Joy and Tease Talk Mindset.
Why do you always got the football announcers
You
call?
know what? I don't know. Maybe it's because of all of the football and traveling with Massenburg, and then I watch a lot of football, but I even almost kind of felt like boxing then. Ready to rumble. I like sports.
Not I, said the cat. Except
But
football.
you've been converted. Yeah, she's being converted.
It's only
very
because of
quickly.
my pastor.
So, guys, today we are going to talk about the message. And it's just a continuation. You know, we was talking about the one before. So this is like number 2, part 2 to the rejected footage. We're going to now talk about the message.
You know what I realized?
What you realize?
Speaking of the message, I got like 4 pair of earrings and that's it. What message am I sending?
Really? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Exactly. That ain't the message. Anyway, guys, I really want to know. Do y'all know what our message is? This is when I really need to be really live because I just want to know, do people understand? Have we made it clear what our message is?
No. And I say that because we're just now recognizing what our message is.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come behind the scenes because you're right. We started out doing one thing, but it has evolved to the point where we've asked ourselves enough questions. It's kind of like when she rejected the footage. It took time for me to say, okay, what's going on in your head? It took a little bit to kind of tell me. I don't know why. Why didn't you want to tell me? Why did
It wasn't that I didn't want to tell you.
You went a long way around. You didn't just come out with it.
But you know how, well, first of all, you know I'm always thinking about people's time, and it take us time to do these episodes. So It was just like, you don't have time to redo a whole new episode. I don't have time. What took me so long to tell you was that I had to know for myself. You know how I am.
Yeah.
And it was like, if is it worth it? Or can I make this work? But you know what? I hadn't even watched the footage before I made my decision. I just knew the state of mind that we were in. You was tired. You had just left your mom. For the past 2 nights, you had been there past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then the weight of dealing with this, even with your siblings and how they feel and what's going on with your mom and how you guys, even though your dad passed a few years ago, you're still dealing with the debris of that situation. Yeah. And so it was just like you take on their emotions and their feelings, and it was so you were tired. Yeah. And then I forget what I was doing. Ain't no telling. Y'all know I'm Jamaican. I got about 56 jobs. I don't remember, but it was just like, what are we supposed to think? That's what we were like. What were we supposed to talk about today? I don't know. I forgot. And so we were like, okay, we just gonna have to go off but we not a go off the cuff kind of people, and not like that much off the cuff. So I couldn't sleep. And I was just like, even as I woke up that morning, it was still on my mind. In my dream, I was in a podcast. So it was just like, we're gonna have to scratch it. So you're gonna have to tell First Lady. We're gonna have to redo it.
And then you came in there with 15 questions before you ever even said, but I didn't give you a chance to say scrap it.
You didn't. Because just a few seconds ago, it took me 15 hours to get there.
But guys, the message is so important. And if we have not said it before, we're saying it now. That there is joy in the struggle. It is. That's what branding, y'all, the popular word is brand. Brand. You have to be branded. What is the brand? The brand is nothing but the outcome of a person starting with an idea, going through ups, downs, and the struggle, keeping the same message until everybody recognized it instantly. Either by a jingle, either by a logo, but they know the message behind it.
Yeah.
Everything that you do, it's that thing it's long.
Yeah.
Branding doesn't happen. It does not happen overnight. I'm sitting up there really enjoying some of the people that are really coming on the scene now. I love to listen to Tabitha Brown. And
She's funny.
don't go messing up nobody else's. Those are just some things she say
Yes.
that you automatically know. But what, 15 years? That's why I was like, nobody takes the time to stop and say, hold on, I'm doing this now. I'm in my 5th year. Just guys, that's the joy.
Yes.
The fact that you're able to even create that story, and I believe we've done our job when we can convince every creative to embrace it. Don't run from it. That is the reward. It's a good thing.
And I think too, like, here's a brand everybody know. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. But why are we weeping? And how long does the darkness last? And the joy is only promised in the daylight. So when the darkness comes, we can't forget what God said in the daylight. We still got to remember those things and continue to do it. And sometimes we forget that the struggle is what makes us, it's not just what makes us who we are, it's what gives us the message to begin with. Because the only reason that JKM&A exists is because of your struggle. That's right. Struggle that you went through. But then even as we were working through, what is our brand? What are we doing as a community? How are the people that are connected to the company, how do their lives show the vision? And you look at you, and like you say, everything that you've had to go through in your life, you had to struggle for.
I had to struggle.
The other day, y'all, I was trying to get rid of some paperwork. And I started stumbling up. Now, I got papers for days. And it was like from 2000. And I started cleaning this thing out, and I started going through all this other stuff. But I found some report cards. And they were like FD, FFC, U. And y'all know what the C was in, art. So it was just like, the only passing grade I had was in art class. But even the C shows you that I wasn't living to my best ability. Because it was just like I was good at what I did. I've always been an artist. That's always been who I am.
There go that good. Don't settle for the good.
Anyway, I was just doing good enough to pass. And so as I was sitting there and I was going through that paperwork, it was the struggle that I now get to talk to teens and say, I know what it's like to be failing. It doesn't define you.
Come on.
And my struggle was getting over, even to this day, what took place with my mother. My mother was in a domestically violent relationship. I did not want this to be my story. I did not want to talk about it on camera. I did not want to go to places and speak on it. It wasn't something that I wanted to talk about. But that's my story. I can't run from it.
Come on.
And so that was my struggle. How do you in life succeed, and not success according to someone else, but success according to who God has called you to be specifically? How do you succeed through trauma? Because that's what it was. It was one night we went to bed and we was all smiling and clapping fives. And the very next morning we was preparing for my mother's funeral. So the whole, that'll never happen to me, hit us when we were really young. But the process of getting from point A to point B and that struggle is now what y'all see. If I didn't tell you that was my story, most people wouldn't know it. There's a lot of things that I've gone through in my life that most people would not know based upon the fact that I'm goofy, I'm silly, I can make you laugh at stuff that should not be funny. But there was a struggle behind this joy. And that was me in our branding. Then we have Michaela, who y'all don't see often.
But she works behind the scenes.
But she works all the time behind the scenes. Those grandbabies y'all see that you love and everybody watching the videos, that the struggle is real. when it's 5 of them. And so, tending to 5 different personalities, 5 different ways of loving, because each one has their own individual love language, and tending to them, not only that, tending to yourself and then tending to your husband, that's a lot. The struggle is real. And then we live in a society that tells her she's not supposed to have kids. Ooh. That's not the American dream. You're supposed to go out there and be strong and independent. And what if I just want a family? And that's it.
Come on.
I don't want nothing else. I just want to be able to take care of my family. And my husband provides that through God. Yes. And we're okay. I don't need Bentleys and all that other stuff. That might be good for you. I'm not knocking it. But my vision is this. But the struggle behind having to listen to what everybody else has to say is real.
Come on.
So we all have a struggle, but we still find joy. And those same little feet that kick you in the back also bring joy.
But let's talk about that struggle. Look at what you do now.
Yes.
She creates commemorative apparel. Really? On shoes. She captures your story and she hand paints it onto a shoe and captures it like none other. But if you wouldn't have had that struggle where she understands there's moments you don't want to lose, I think you get the depth of it because you see how quickly it can be gone.
Yep.
And you'll wish you had something. So therefore it created something beautiful to find the joy in it.
Yes.
For me, it was neat to hear back from guys. I operate really in 2 worlds as far as, yes, we're writers, but many times people forget that the author is also running a business. Yep. And I've been blessed to be an entrepreneur for 20 plus years. And so as I'm working and I'm coaching and things of that nature, from my business side, it was neat for her to find the Tara Johnson did on her podcast. She did an interview and she's talking about my struggle with me and my husband, as far as she talks, and she labeled it, I think, true love and laughing with joy. And I was just like, wow. Sometimes when I'm interviewing, I don't see it, but when you hear it later from somebody else's perspective, she was just like, I never would have known that you've gone through that. But we were laughing together. And she was talking about how she related to my past. But my struggle reminded her that she could find joy.
Yeah.
Well, you might have had a similar past, but it don't have to end that way. Your struggles do not have to define you. I'm laughing now, and my story is bringing joy to somebody else.
Yes.
But it took me actually, though, actively being productive in my calling on a day-to-day basis, building relationships, because some of these doors that opened was only because I was willing to work the day-to-day, the small things, okay? So, and in doing the struggle, to come out with the testimony of joy, and then somebody else wanted. Y'all, something that's been on my mind, I heard E.T. talking about, Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher, and he was at a school speaking, and he was saying how he was talking to a sports team to win, because he was letting them know that when LSU had won, they were on camera inviting people to come to LSU. We have to stay in the struggle and win.
Yes.
If we're going to draw others. For me, it's not to succeed if I'm succeeding alone. I share everything. People will tell you, if they contact me, I share it.
Yes.
Why? Because the joy is that I'm able to take what I've learned from my struggles and share it with someone else. And to be so consistent about what I said I was going to do, keeping my word, that it becomes branded in your hearts and mind, that oh, that girl knows struggle. That girl ran a 6-figure business out of bankruptcy.
Yep.
She started it, got a business, was in bankruptcy, had just come out of bankruptcy, and started a business from scratch all the way up. You can do it.
Yes.
And that's after somebody stole from us. So I can tell you the circumstance can be drastic. That girl got her high school diploma. It might have taken her 4 years of math to get there. Just because you got to go the long way don't mean that the outcome's not for you. I still graduated.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Academic probation, about to get kicked out of college. Hard way.
Yeah.
But didn't give up.
Yep.
Have to go during the summer. You get what I'm saying? So embrace the struggle. Nothing I've done has come to me easy, but now I'm learning that, you know what, God, that's the path that you had for me. Because you had someone else in mind, because you knew everybody's path is different.
Yeah.
And you leave a role model, somebody winning, to encourage the next person
Yes.
to keep going. Our God has left nothing undone.
Yeah.
Because I know his brand as being what? Not only the starter of my faith, him being a finisher. It's my job to finish, to remind the people that they are to finish strong as well. Just like our Creator created us in his own image.
I even look at the year, kind of. It was from November to April when your father was going through his whole transitioning.
Oh, girl.
And like my heart immediately knew what y'all was about to go through. But it was because I had been through it.
And I never have. No, not really anybody to me that close.
Yeah.
And what do people keep telling me? Well, you know, he's lived a good life. And I remember when it hit me and I was just like, but I've never lived a day without him.
Yes.
I don't care how old he is.
And I didn't necessarily get that from the situation with my mom, but I got it from my grandmother. And I remember who she was to us as her grandchildren. And I remember watching her transition from, you know, she got sick and she just started to draw up. And we knew she had lived a good life. She got 11 reasons that she didn't lead a good life.
11 children.
And it was just like, but our family, everybody got a crazy family, but we love it. I love my family.
Yeah.
I love kicking it with them, but we had watched her go through that transition and it was hard. But I remember watching you then and how much you mean to me. It was just like, ooh, before I even said anything to you, I was like, God. It was a reminder. And you have that moment when you like, because God has healed me, of course, with my grandmother's situation. And my mindset was, God, if that moment was for this moment, thank you. And I remember having to tell you, like, First Lady, have you said, because we was in the car. And how do you say that to somebody? Have y'all prepared mentally? Have you been preparing for what's about to take place just in case
He don't come out this
he
time.
don't come out? And the glory is, it's gonna hurt.
Yes.
It is going to tear you up, but be okay with that. Because it's not going to last. Because what ends up happening is you can't get saturated with the word of God and him not cleanse you daily in that struggle. Because it's still hard. I still think about my grandmother. She been gone since 2016. But it was just God continuing to cleanse and to prepare you for that thing. And it was just like, look at where he is, though. Like the whole reason that he existed. And he may have started this way in his life, and I believe you shared the portions of his testimony.
Yes, I did.
But he didn't end that way.
Correct.
He was a soldier for God. And that
Yes.
thing that he fought so hard for, he now gets to see it. Yeah, we selfish and want to keep him with us. But how great a moment to hear, well done.
Come on.
Thy good and faithful servant. We look at people when they get awards and we stand up with them. We crying and wiping our faces, snotting, and they're getting the award and they shaking it and thanking the Lord. How much more so is he having that? The angels rejoice because he's come home. So it was just like, you can't just leave it there. You have to look at it in its fullness. And in the struggle, we right here. Paul knew they were about to behead him. But he said, Timothy, my son.
Come on now.
Boy, you need to get ready. Because it's about to
pouring out like a drink offering.
Yes. And his speech to him is like he hyped. But this man knew he was about to be beheaded. He knew that they were about to tear him up. But he knew where he was going.
Come on.
And I say all that to say, writers, creatives, at the end of the day, what does the end look like? Is it something that is glorious that we should rejoice in? Or is it something that we should continue to be sad about? And if it's worth rejoicing in, then guess what? It's worth the struggle. Bottom line, that's my takeaway, because you always ask.
That is good. That was good. We're going to end it right there on that. Guys, just like my dad was a setup to I married a man I did not love. Today I love him to death. My father left a legacy.
Yeah.
He taught me how to forgive. He taught me that love was worth suffering long. Both my parents taught me that because they stayed in there. Yeah. And I got to see that thing come full circle.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That what you believe in, be willing to die for it. Yeah. They have shown me that. And I have found joy in it. And then, as we're branding JKM&A, Joy K. Massenberg and Associates, it was born out of that season of going through my father's death, rejection, heartache, all of those things at the same time. But I've got joy, and the legacy lives on because, wow, my dad was such an awesome businessman. The people who spoke well of him, the relationships he built, the things that we enjoy now, he taught me how to have joy in the struggle.
Yeah.
And then he taught me this, and don't you stop. If you ain't got joy yet, you keep on till you get it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Guys, go to the website, www.joykmassenberg.com, because I know y'all jealous with these shirts. I got the Psalms 119 Pursue shirt, the JKM&A shirt. We got all kinds of stuff. Or maybe you just want to go ahead and get registered for
Java with Joy.
Java with Joy. All right, guys. Love ya. We're out of here.
Did you throw up the peace sign?
No, I just pointed.
So I hope you're not
Can't go over it. You can't go